Hello, hello, hello. We are live for Geek Talk Live. Okay, today is we are doing, we're going to talk about how I recently released for one of my clients, Group Track. So it's kind of cool. Group Track is both a client of ours as well as we are a customer of theirs. And so there's just a lot of cross love happening on that side of the house. So today we're going to tackle something that we had to tackle with Group Track, and that is what a lot of you guys probably have to tackle at some point or another is like, how do you actually onboard a customer? And what is the journey and how can you use ClickFunnels to be able to do that? So the scenario goes something like this. So we were, Group Track obviously is a product that is out there. It's a classic SaaS product, and one of the big questions is how do we help people onboard? Now, for those of you familiar with any kind of SaaS product, there's a lot of different tools out there like User Pilot and a bunch of other ones that they'll do like the overlay on top. You guys have probably seen it as customers, right? Where they'll do like an overlay on top of the SaaS product to be like, let me give you an orientation, or here's your checklist to get started, or click here, now click here, now click here, you're onboarded, right? So these are really familiar in the SaaS world, but running those software on top of your SaaS can sometimes slow stuff down. And it usually requires some degree of dev support. And in the case of Group Track, we eventually will have something like that in the product, I think. But in the short term, we wanted to be able to not have to bother our dev resources because they were working on some stuff that took a little higher priority, right? But we still needed to be able to onboard customers. So Jenna came up with this really good idea and this vision of the super maybe baby onboarding, right? And I was like, okay, amazing. So she did all of these like little tiny videos to basically help people and choose their own adventure at some points, get help when they needed to, or be able to continue to go and do it on their own if they needed to. So of course, they are ClickFunnels users. And so instead of buying another piece of tech that would help with this onboarding, I made the entire onboarding experience in ClickFunnels 1.0. Now, you could do this in 2.0 too. It is just the basic functionality of ClickFunnels. And so as you guys are watching, whether you're in 1.0 or 2.0, this is possible. The particular example I'm going to do today, though, is just in 1.0. So if you're someone out there, and it doesn't have to be a SaaS product, right? If you just want to be able to provide your customers a very white glove, very step-by-step in orientation into your world. So like another example could be like, hey, first, let's add this to your calendar. Check. Now, let's make sure that you are feeling like you're prepared to get started. Check, right? Like just a general orientation into your world. You can use this exact same approach. This one is, that I'm about to show you, is not behind any kind of access control or anything that they have to log into. It's wildly available to the public. Anybody who has a link can get there. You can put this inside of a membership area in 1.0, but just because we wanted it to be accessible because it drives product adoption, we decided to leave it outside of the login experience and just allow people to go through it. So if you are joining me, give me a hashtag live and let me know if you have this problem of trying to help people onboard. If you're joining me in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And then also let me know, like, if onboarding or product adoption is something that you're really interested in and maybe struggling with a little bit. I'd love to hear what you think as I walk you through this. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we have, all right, let me go ahead and show my screen. There we go. Perfect. All right, it's up now. I was just looking down on my phone, make sure everything is good, and we are live. Let's turn down that volume. Perfect. And as I go to, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I will be watching there. And so, okay, perfect. I do see that I'm live. So let me just open it up so I can see your comments. Okay, awesome. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, so what you're looking at right now would be the very first place that we would land people, right? So congratulations, this is in the email. They'd see this link. Let's get started. Do your onboarding. And so they would come here and be like, welcome to Group Track. And so now we didn't want the navigation, which originally was up top, to be the main focus. We wanted the video and like them just to keep going. So it feels like they're getting handheld every step of the way, but it is baby steps into it, right? And they wanted to be able to jump around. Now, for those in the tech world, you'll appreciate this. The back button is like your worst enemy in the entire world, right? Most customers still use the back button, enough to drive all of us crazy, right? But they do. But instead, we wanted to say, hey, you could always navigate over here instead of using the back button. So kind of off to the left. And you could navigate around the onboarding steps if you wanted to over here. But it's way less in terms of the visual hierarchy or the amount of attention it demands, but it's there. And you'll see it subtly change as I go through it. So yeah, I can share the URL. Give me 1 second. Let me grab it. Somebody in the audience was asking for it. All right, let me drop it in here. Cool. And hey, James, shout out. All right, there we go. Okay. So what this is now is it basically is, okay, I'm going to welcome to group track. I watched this awesome video. Don't make your videos more than like 8 minutes max, right? So, because you're just trying to give them bite-sized taste into the world, go do this thing. So this is a really wonderful welcome. Hey, I'm Jenna. And then you would come in here and you'd say, okay, I'm ready. So what actually happened is I'm on the exact same page in ClickFunnels. All I did was a show hide. And I'm going to show you on the back end how I did this. But basically, it's just a show hide of, based on that button click, show one section, hide all other sections. But it looks and feels like I'm progressing through, right? But the page doesn't change. So it doesn't feel like I'm like totally stepping away from it. I'm just kind of walking through this wonderful wizard. So then it's like, okay, what to expect? And then it tells me what to do. And then what do I do next? So I watch the video, I do the thing, and then got it. So now I'm moving on to the next. And you can see that it's now on 2, right? So if I were to go back just to show you guys, again, these are just buttons that show hide sections. So when I went to the next step, I'm still technically in like the first area, but it's 2 sections that are associated with the first video. So then it's, okay, I got it. I'm going to go forward. And so now I'm going to say, okay, number 2, install Chrome extension. I see all the things. I watch the video. I do the thing. And now here's where it gets really cool. At any point in time, they could click on this button and say, I'm stuck. And what this does is this will generate an email to go to support. One interesting thing that we noticed in this actually is that typically when you click on a button in order to go to support, you can use the mail to dot and then the email. That normally works on a hyperlink. We're finding out that on buttons, it doesn't work as well. So we're working on a little bit of a hack, hopefully, that allowed that to be true. But you can also change the data title of these buttons so that the same rules apply to every button that has that data title. So I have that I'm stuck button on a bunch of different pages. So if I ever do want to like change that link or whatever, I could do it probably in just one spot. So we're playing around with that. But so I've gone here and I said, okay, I'm going to install the extension and I go to the next step. And again, what's happening on ClickFunnels is you can see I'm still in this like 2 space. I'm on a different section and I'm taking the tour and I'm doing the video. And all that I'm doing is just to show hide. So then I'm going to say, okay, let's get going. And so now what we've done is we said, okay, now we're on this 3rd one. We're going to pick our platform. So what it's done is it's given me a general overview of group track. How do I get onto it? How do I adopt it? What is it doing? Right. You said, can I say that again? James, you have to say what again? So it's each section, right? It's just a show hide. And then now I'm here. So I can basically here, I can toggle back through to be like, okay, what did I forget? I can toggle back through all of them and go through, or I can also come here and go deeper into each one. So super cool. Again, all just using show hide in ClickFunnels 1.0. The show hide function in 2.0 works the exact same. So you could make this in 2.0 as well. So, okay, so now I go to 3. Now, here's the thing. At this point, remember, this is open and available to the public. So this is, and here I'll highlight this video if anybody else wants to like check it out or, here we go. So this is all available to the public. So I don't know, nobody's logged in. So I don't know who this user is. If I had that data to say like who went through onboarding, right? That would be super helpful, but I don't. So at this point, we wanted to just do a quick check. And one of the things, and they have a ClickFunnels Active Campaign combo, and we use Typeform as our form tool. The reason why I choose Typeform is because we can get really nice design. And the second reason is because it has a native integration with ActiveCampaign. So we don't have to use Zaps or anything like that. So here I could go ahead and choose my platform, and all of a sudden it's just a Typeform pop-up. I'm not redirected and taken away from my page and go to Typeform. I'm just right there on the page. This is one of the embed options on Typeform, is the ability to be able to do an embed, but it's not an in-page embed. It's just a pop-up embed. They've actually done some really nice stuff in terms of embed options that you should check out if you have Typeform. So, okay, so right here, I'm going to say, which platform do you want? Now, this is super cool. So on the back end, I have a welcome page in ClickFunnels, and I'm going to just kind of show you a little bit behind the scenes here. So I have a welcome page. That's what we just went through. Now, based on what they purchased, they could either go to Facebook or they could go to Instagram, right? These are the two possible platforms that they could have purchased in order on their group track account. So and then the cool thing too, by having this as separate pages, is let's say that we're working with customers over there and we're like, oh, they just need help with Facebook. Well, they might not want to go back through the welcome all the way, right? They just need Facebook help. So we can send them right to the Facebook getting started, or right to the Instagram getting started, right? Or the Pro and Premier features right there. So super, super cool. But I'm going to go ahead and in my Typeform, if I click on Facebook, it's going to direct me to that Facebook page. If I click on Instagram, it's going to direct me to the Instagram page. If I click on both, I want them to go through Facebook first. So it would go to Facebook. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick on Facebook, and I'm going to submit, and then it's going to go ahead and redirect me. Cool. Awesome. So now I'm on the Facebook page, and you can see here that it has more lessons, but it's the same consistent user experience. And so I can go, through it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I've installed the basic pipeline after I've listened. And again, I've always seen this stuck. You'll also see a very subtle upsell option. So what this is I'm going to go ahead and open it up into a new tab. So what this is, hey, do you need help setting up a private one-on-one setup for you? So what this does is it basically now sends them into an upsell funnel to be able to get support from a member of the group track staff. So again, this is just a really classic, hey, let me get support funnel, really classic sales funnel, right? That's like, hey, go ahead and book your private session. So it's a two-step order form. They pay, and then there's an embedded Calendly link where they book, and then they go on to get the support. But if they don't need that, then they can go ahead and keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and I've installed, and you can see here that it went to the next section. I watched the video, I see the things, and you can do hyperlinks, right? So all of these are just, hey, join the Facebook group, go hyperlink out, send a friend request, hyperlink out. So they're doing the things. And then I'm going to go ahead. Cool. I got that done. So completed, move on to next. So you can see like this would be a really easy onboarding experience, right? It's just bite-sized, step-by-step. I don't have to put a lot of thought into it. And again, this is all done with ClickFunnels, just simple show hides. And so then I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I've completed these. Very cool. I've completed these. Awesome. And again, now I'm going to pick my next step. So this is where it gets really exciting. So again, I'm going to introduce that Typeform. I'm going to say, hey, let's do a quick check-in. How are you doing? Because at this point, again, I don't know who this person is going through onboarding. I just know that they're going through it. So I'm going to do a quick check-in. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes, let's keep going. Or I want to learn the basics of using Instagram. So again, if I clicked on, I want to start using group track with Facebook, it would put me into the Pro and the Premier features, right? Actually, we're going to add that as an option. Or it would put me into what's next. Or if I wanted to go Instagram, I'd go into Instagram. So I'm going to go into Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and submit. So it gives us feedback to say, hey, how's it going? And what paths do they take? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and I've installed the basic pipeline. Again, I'm going through the Instagram setup. So amazing. Using group track on Instagram. Yay. So I'm going to keep going. It's looking good. And again, at any point I could say I'm stuck, which would initiate an email off to support. And I'm going to go ahead and I've completed these things, and I've completed these things. And then all of a sudden now it's going to take me to my what's next. So this would have been the same page that it took me to had I said, I'm ready to start using after the Facebook opt-in, right? So it's going to go ahead and load, and it's going to say, hey, what do you want to do next? So now this is where we got a little bit more tricky, right? So there are 5 sections on here, and 3 of the 5, the middle ones, are dedicated to, do I want to create from scratch? Do I want to use the basic pipeline, or do I want to follow the group track way? Now, the cool thing is that they are going to open up. Actually, I probably can't say it. This is going to be a really cool offer. They're going to open up here soon. To be able to help people onboard in a really awesome way. But if I wanted to just create from scratch, then what I could do is I could come here and she's going to help me with connect from scratch. They're using ad events, which I highly recommend in order to add that calendar to your training. And I could also now go to one of the other paths that I didn't pick. So if I wanted to say, oh, I want to actually go to basic, or let's say, oh, you know what? I want to go check out what that group track way is. So she's going to tell me about it, and it's not there yet, but it will be. It's coming soon. And again, these are places that I can go to get extra help if I want that deep dive expertise, right? So then I'm going to go ahead and keep going on. And I have all of these options now that no matter what I do, I can, get the help and what I need. And still over here, we have those options. And so eventually what this does is it takes me to, okay, I've completed my onboarding. I've started with my group track. At this point, it really is, I'm ready to go to what we call the Profitable Pipelines program, which is the monthly education program that allows people to fully leverage their group track investment in order to go on. So, and this is going to be really traditional funnel, right? So I'm going to be like, yes, I want onboarding, or I want the pipelines program. So when somebody clicks on that, they're redirected into, and we just redid this, so that's coming today, but they're redirected into the pipelines program funnel, which is their monthly continuity $400 a month funnel to also help with adoption and use of the group track tool. So that is just to kind of give you like a seamless, this is the system, this is how you might be able to think about helping someone to onboard and get them into the system. It's super easy. It takes a little bit of time, but it's super easy. You can do it with ClickFunnels. That show hide feature is so critical. So let me just give you a little bit of a sneak peek behind the scenes so that you can see it. I know, no, James, I can't. That one I can't. I'm sworn to secrecy. But it's cool. It'll be coming out soon. Okay, so here, right, you can see that when I go in there, all I see is one section, right? But all it is, it's super, super simple. You just have to go into the sections, into manage, and then you would see all these sections are hidden. And so they start as hidden, and then on the buttons, that's when I control the show hide. So I'm just going to simply click on the button. I'm going to set the action, and then I show hide. Here's a little pro tip. Make sure that you name your sections so that you can easily see them and they're organized per how you want to go through. And speaking of the game-changing client, Jenna is with us as well. So Jenna is the CEO and co-founder of Group Track. She is the brains behind this operation. So big shout out to Jenna. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for being willing to share this with the world. All right, so that is the same thing over here. These are just simply buttons. And you do have to use buttons in ClickFunnels if you're going to do this in order to be able to set that action of show hide. So, and again, they're just simply show a hiding of the section. One also pro tip, if you're going to do this, I highly recommend using sections over rows, because then you can basically put everything in that one section and control it at a big level in terms of like hide the whole section or show the whole section, instead of the crazy making of trying to show and hide elements or rows at any given time. And then, yay, I'm so glad. Jenna just said it's been huge for client onboarding and success. Yay, yay, yay. And I think we have upsold a couple of those just one-on-one sessions, which is fantastic. And they're also doing a big new intro and a bonus into pipelines here coming this week. There's a pipelines masterclass on Thursday. And so again, this is all just putting all those vectors in one direction, trying to help everybody with adopting group track and getting deeper into the product. So very, very cool. And thank you, Jenna. Very much appreciate your comment. All right, cool. So, and if you guys do have any questions, or if you have an idea for onboarding, I would love to see those comments and questions. Again, it is so simple. What you're seeing right now behind the scenes is just a 1.0, but in 2.0, that show hide feature on a section level is exactly the same. So you can do the exact same approach of just thinking through, okay, what is the journey every section of the way? or every step of the way, create a section for each of those steps, and then just simply show hide. Okay, James, you said, oh man, you guys would love my videos I have coming up too. What you guys are doing right now. Awesome. Can't wait to see it. Very, very cool. Yes. And then 1.0. Yes, I'm going to miss it. Maybe one day. I think 1.0 is still here for a little while, but yes, definitely. The cool thing is that this is, again, without a shadow of a doubt, you could do this with 2.0 as well. So very cool. Okay, so that is one idea that you can do for onboarding. Now, the next level, and we will be hopefully presenting this at a later Geek Talk, the next level and what was missing in the onboarding program or the onboarding experience is, of course, if we could understand who is actually going through each of those steps. So let me kind of get super geeky with you and talk to you about some of the things that we are trying to do. So in the onboarding right now, we do have an opt-in. So if somebody didn't come through the main, like I bought group track, I got the email, I'm into onboarding. That's the critical happy path that we is so critical, right? But when people are maybe we're using as like a lead gen of like, hey, come on, use group track or use group track, leverage the power of the tool, and we want to use it almost as a lead gen technique, right? Then what we could do is we have a opt-in, a typical ClickFunnels opt-in page that people put in their email and their name. That email is going to be stored in local storage. Now, Dan has a really special little chunk of code that allows that to consistently happen. So that email is now going to be stored. So now if they stay with the same session, that email is going to be stored as they go through the experience. And so because it is connected to ActiveCampaign and ActiveCampaign has site tracking, what we're currently playing with is being able to send that email that's stored in local storage over to ActiveCampaign. So then we can make the connection to say, okay, not only did this person buy, they've now also come into our onboarding experience, and we can see how far they've gone and if they got stuck. This opens up a whole new world for us to be able to insert nurture and be able to better support the customers. Again, it's all, meet them where they're at and help provide as much nurture points and touch points as possible. Say that, and we could not do this without you. Thank you, Jenna. I so appreciate that. And yes, James, I agree. Dan is a wizard. Absolutely. Okay, so that is what we're going to try next with this whole experience. On the ActiveCampaign side, I'm not going to show it just because I don't want to go into the group track account and show their ActiveCampaign. But in ActiveCampaign, the tool that we are currently playing with, so if you are using ActiveCampaign, this is where you want to go. It is called site tracking. It's in the advanced features in ActiveCampaign. And in the advanced features for site tracking, you can do two things. Make sure that you put your root domain for if you're doing an onboarding funnel in the site tracking. That's the first step. The second step is obviously now this is also going to go into a training vault and a portal and being able to take people further or get them into pipelines. So apply and add that site tracking and ActiveCampaign to your training vault. So you can see up here on the screen, this is the group track training vault that people would naturally drive into after they're done with the onboarding, or if and when they sign up for the pipelines program. They're all going to be in there as well. So in your ActiveCampaign, you want to go ahead and add that domain into the site tracking, first thing. Then the next thing that you can do is on your programs page, on the access page. So let me go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing just super quick so I can show you guys how to do this. Let me remove. Okay. And let me go into the programs training hub. All right. It is loading. Okay. So again, we want to try to connect our ActiveCampaign with our ClickFunnels. And again, the whole reason we're doing this is that the ClickFunnels area is not just your sales engine, but it's also your content hub when you're using it for membership. And so we know that that's really important. We also know that in order to create a really great learning experience, you need two other things. You need community, which obviously Group Track is masters of. And so they have an amazing, thriving community of people, and they have a community of buyers. The third thing that you need is what we call nurture. So nurture is where you can insert intelligent emails and intelligent text messages and intelligent DMs to be able to help people along their way at very critical times. I usually say you need these things at the places where there are emotional troughs and emotional valleys. And so you're always looking at the experience that you're carving out in those moments of troughs and valleys, and want to insert nurture moments or nurture touch points in at those times that you can predict or that you feel might happen, right? So in order to do that, the very first thing that I need to know, like, are they coming into our training portal? Are they doing the thing? Well, the cool thing, there is coding that the geeks have learned and can install, but even just out of the box ClickFunnels, the very first step that you can do is when you make your membership site or for your course or your event or whatever it is that you are teaching and serving, when you come into your access page, and not that one, that's the certification program, which they just finished, which was awesome. Um, when you come in there on the access page itself, so right here, I'm going to go into my membership area. I'm on the access page. And this is that page where you type in your username and password. So this will all look really familiar. So this one, if I were to log out and I would do my username and password, right? That's the one we're looking at. So on the access page, if you go into edit page, and then you go into settings, integration. So this is, I have Active Campaign already connected to this account. All you simply have to do is just say lead GT Programs Hub. So what this did is it told me when somebody actually logged into the members area. That tag will be applied, and now I can send that over to my Active Campaign. So now I can see what was the last login event for that customer, right? So basically, you can run an automation that auto updates the last login. Super cool. This is a low tech, just with Active Campaign and ClickFunnels. You don't need any of the fancy software or coding or programming. It's an easy way for you to start to understand the customer journey and see where they're at in terms of their engagement with your training material. So super cool. Way easy, out of the box, no code involved, amazing experiences that you can create with ClickFunnels. Simply show hide of sections and then simply just brute third-party integration using tags. So those are, again, 2 tips today for improvement of the customer journey. Thank you again, Jenna, for letting me be able to highlight and showcase the awesome onboarding experience that we created. James, thank you so much for your input and shout out. I really appreciate that. And I think we have a couple other customers that are watching right now and tuned in. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you do have questions or you are interested in doing an onboarding experience, join the Geek Out community. Let us know what you got going on. Ask us questions. If you want to do any follow up from today's call, we are always in there supporting and providing as many tips and tricks and, as James said, wizardry inside of our group so that we can help you leverage the power of your ClickFunnels investment. And thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Have a great day.